Allah, so let me stray. Please guide my way onto the path of my deen. Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, I'm calling your name. Oh, Allah.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another all-new edition of your favorite program, Let's Talk, of course, on your favorite channel, Huda TV. Log on www.facebook.com/HudaTV, as well as www.youtube.com/HudaTV. And you can always catch up with me personally, Malik Evangelatos, on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Malik Evangelatos. In this episode, inshallah ta'ala, we will be discussing an important topic, an interesting topic, one that affects youth and adults, everyone, all human beings, and that is the issue of feeling good. Feel good about yourself. I mean, especially in these times of seemingly an infinite number of people, or an increasing number of people, are diagnosed, quote unquote, with depression and bipolar disorder, and are relying on pharmaceutical companies who are reaping an enormous amount of profit because people simply don't feel good. Well, I say, and Allah knows best, we have a lot to feel good about, especially because we're simply Muslims, and Allah has honored us with that. So before we get into our program here and talk about and view our report in the beginning of this episode, let me introduce our guests and participants. Our first guest sitting to my right is an Al-Azhar scholar, a researcher of public opinion and communication study trainer, Brother Mukhtar Mahdi. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Mukhtar.
Alaikum salam. Thank you for having me, man.
Hey, thank you for being here. I enjoyed the episode we did about media and public opinion.
Yeah,
and I hope this one, Barakallahu feek, wallahi, thank you for your time. And I want everybody else to go one by one, introduce yourselves, because when I say it, it's not as good as when you guys say it. You can let the viewers know who you are. So go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. My name is Abdurrahman Abdi Badal Hassan. I'm originally from Somalia. I came from Toronto, Canada. I'm about 20 years old. I'm a first-year student in American University.
Okay, great. And of course, if the viewers want to get a hold of you, they can simply email you at 6of-OC@hotmail.com.
So you took the email from me just to tell them about
so
that.
now, also, brother, I want the viewers, you told me your name, but I want the viewers to know, do you have any nicknames that you go by?
You know the nickname.
Obviously, but thank you for your time. Wallahi, thank you for being here. I always appreciate having you, the youth perspective. So how old are you?
20.
Great. That's why we would love to have you on the program. Give us the youth perspective. Thank you so much, brother.
It's great to be back.
Thank you. Of course, we have my good friend, a lot of people don't know, Muhammad Garba, also Al-Azhar scholar. May Allah bless you for your recent graduation. But please tell us a little bit about yourself and your plans. Are you going to return to your native Nigeria soon? And what will you be doing, inshallah, there?
Inshallah. Alhamdulillah. My name is Muhammad Garba. I graduated of Al-Azhar University just last 2 months ago. Inshallah, very soon I'm planning to return back to my country to propagate Islam there.
Barakallahu feek. Allah bless you. And of course, we have the founder, I believe, of Spread Your Skills, Abdullah Amr.
Alhamdulillah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and what is this program, Spread Your Skills?
Abdullah Amr, 23 years old, senior student, language translation, Al-Azhar University. SYS is kind of one of the biggest and most professional student activity at Al-Azhar University, which is the biggest university here in Egypt. It aims to organize and educate the youth and organize high quality educational programs for them in order to kind of fill the gap between graduation and the labor market and all these things. So we need to be kind of educated and ready for this life, professional life.
Great. Yes, certainly couldn't agree with you more. Before we continue and go deeper into our discussion, let's take a look at a report. It's a report featuring Sheikh Yusuf Esses, I believe, at the Peace Conference.
I love this guy.
Yeah, it's a great report here.
You have too much energy.
Yeah, too much energy. And it shows people feel good. How can we feel good? So let's take a look at this report of Sheikh Yusuf Esses actually giving the Shahada to someone who accepts Islam. So check it out and stay tuned.
Allah, I'm calling your name.
Looking for truth. They're not looking for Islam. They're not looking for the Quran. They're just looking for truth, real truth. And because there's only one God and only one way to get to God, it has to be on His terms, and there's only one way. And we said it, in the Dina, in the Lahi, Islam. The only thing Allah wants from you is this simple thing, your heart. That's what He wants. Give Him your heart, and everything else will be fine. I'm going to give you 5 words in the English language. They have to be all at the same time. Surrender, submission, obedience, sincerity, and peace. Do you want those things in your life?
Yes, sir.
I do too. Everybody in this room wants those things. All at the same time, though. Surrender, submission, obedience to His commandments. You know the 10 Commandments. We got the same thing. It's the same thing. It's not a new religion. And then sincerity. To be sincere. No lies, no showing off, no riyah, for Allah only. And finally, to be in peace with whatever He gives you. Say, okay, thank you. Even if you like it, thank you. If you don't like it, thank you. Anyway, because it's from Him. Be in peace with it. This word in Arabic is one. Takes 5 words in English. You know what the word is in Arabic?
No.
Islam. Islam.
Really?
That's the word.
Go to the mic.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that report. Certainly, we are Muslims. Allah has honored us with that, so that is the number one thing to feel good about. Brother Mukhtar, let's get into perhaps share your thoughts about the video first, I suppose.
Actually, I love this man.
Yeah.
He fills his heart with what he believes, and this is why he communicates too fastly and too effectively to people.
Right.
From heart to heart. This is the most effective way of communication. I could speak with you about from mind to mind, it will take years. But when I speak from my heart and you open your heart and you receive the message of Allah, it becomes profound in you.
Right.
And he said to her, give me your heart.
Right.
Surrender your heart. And
Right.
then you will feel the peace.
Yeah, I certainly agree. This intellectual debate between people in religious groups doesn't work. I mean, it's just an intellectual fight.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
Wallahi-
67oc@hotmail.com. Go ahead.
Come on, man. Wallahi, the thing I loved from Sheikh Yusuf is the 5 words he said in the first place: surrender, submission, obedience, and what was it? There were
Peace.
5.
Sincerity
And peace.
Yeah.
Wallahi, if I think of any other words, I can't find it, because those 5, just like you said, in one meaning in Arabic, al-Islam, and it's the only thing you need in your life.
Right. Subhanallah.
See, it's the only thing. Believe in that. Believe in those 5 words. Your life is good. Your life is perfect.
Yeah. Subhanallah. Thank you. I can agree with you more, Brother Muhammad.
Yeah, in fact, it is very interesting that what the doctor has already said now. Most of the people, they don't understand the meaning of Islam. If they want to translate or interpret the meaning of Islam into English language, Islam is submission. Submit yourself into. No.
Yeah.
So in order to have the full understanding of this religion, all these 5 meanings has to be available.
Right.
So, and also, if you have this, you get to become not only Muslim, you become a mu'min. So now you have the rest of mind. Almighty Allah says in the Quran, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَتَطْمَئِنُّ قُلُوبُهُم بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبُ. And those who believe, so they have their
Peace of mind.
their peace
of heart.
and their tranquility. So with this remembrance of Allah,
Yeah.
Almighty Allah now want to emphasize on the meaning. He said, with the remembrance of Allah, mind finds its peace and
Yeah.
tranquility.
Yeah.
So in fact, it is very good.
Yeah. Thank you, Alison. I appreciate it. Spread your skills. So share your
I'll
share
share my
your thoughts.
skills now. Like actually, I found no one really like dislikes this man. Why? Because like he's working like in sincerity, you know what I'm saying? You know, he loves and his like heart is filled like, you know, with what he's doing. although like he's like kind of converted to Islam, not just like born like a Muslim or something. But the point I'm trying to say is like, you know, he was like trying to keep him simple, Islam for himself. Like, you know, it's like to keep it like, you know, make a comparison, and then like, you know, we're searching for the truth, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not like a different religion, all these things, and convert and all these, no. It's like we're searching for the truth, and the truth is like this, and like he expresses them in a really good way. At the same time, he touches his heart, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's a good way. You must know how they feel, and like make them like feel like they want to.
Yeah, certainly, yeah. The sincerity goes a long way, certainly. Let's get into our topic in more detail. Before the program, Brother Mukhtar, you had mentioned that mental attitude, it's simple, mental attitude affects your life. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Mental attitude affects everything in your life, and it's not only to extent of your actions, your behavior, but also your emotions. The way you think, the way you behave, the way you believe, the way you act with other people comes from your mental attitude, the way you presume yourself to be. And the thoughts that are accessible in your brain, if you have negative thoughts, you will tend to project it in yourself. If you have positive thoughts, good thoughts, it will be projected in your attitude, and then it will attract people toward you. You are a living magnet. You attract what you send. So if you send smiles, good thoughts, if you have a positive attitude, what do you think the life and the world will reward you back? Smile and the world will smile to you back. This is attitude. If you go with a wrong mental attitude, whatever the reasons and the situation around you, you will fail to make the best out of it. The good attitude, the good thoughts, smile to the world, feel good about yourself, feel good toward the world, and it will be back to you.
Yeah, certainly I agree, and I fall into this sometimes myself. I have a negative assumption about somebody before I meet him. So of course the interaction will be negative in that regard. Brother, what are your thoughts? I mean, as a young man, do you feel like the youth generally have a positive outlook or a negative outlook? Pessimistic or optimistic?
Both.
Both, right.
Let's say, in example, one little example, where it's a general example, as in we're playing soccer in the streets. Suddenly someone said, that's foul, that's a foul, and I'm into the game. I say, no, that's not a foul, and then suddenly I might say names, and I'm giving you two solutions. Either I start saying names, I thought that is not a foul, we're going to continue our game. And then the guy says, no, it's not a foul, and we start fighting like that.
Right.
Or I could say, okay, although I don't believe it's a foul, I'll just say, okay, it's a foul, just take it.
Right.
So in these two solutions, the people, the guys that are with me are gonna have two different opinions from me.
Right.
Me.
Yeah. Good.
So it depends like
that. It depends on your outlook, and yeah. What do you think, Brother Muhammad?
Yes, I think it reminds me a saying which is that watch your thought because it becomes a word. So watch your words.
Say this.
I love the
word of wisdom came up.
Watch your words because it becomes your attitude.
Right.
So whenever someone is thinking negatively, actually it says negative words and it behaves negatively. So that's why we have to be very conscious of what we are thinking and what we are saying. And also, Almighty Allah says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha wa qulu qawlan sadida. O you who believe, fear Allah and say that which is good. So what we are saying, if it is good, definitely our attitude towards the others will be good.
Yeah.
So we have to be very good.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
MashaAllah, Islam like teaches like lots of, like it's another deen, man. Like تفاءلوا بالخير تجدوه, like, you know, like be always optimistic and like feel good about, like expect good and you'll find it. This is like our religion.
Right.
Like be optimistic all the time and like for sure watch your thoughts becomes your words, watch your words become your actions becomes your personality and then your destiny. So like, you know, whatever, like if you're an optimistic, you'll be positive, you'll be good, like you have like, even like, you know, they say like fake a smile. Those like change your mind. Seriously, physically and like statistically, like, you know, if you kind of feel bad, feel down, and if you just like fake a smile, you physically will be good and you will change your behavior and all these things.
SubhanAllah, because it's the
And
physiological
this is the thing,
impact. Go ahead.
But like brother Abdullah and brother Muhammad said, example, brother Muhammad said, MashaAllah, وَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا, and continue, يُصْلِحْ لَكُمْ أَعْمَالَكُمْ وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ. There's a reward for doing, thinking positive, everything. That's just like my brother Abdullah, Islam is everything.
Yeah.
You do something, even if it's very good, and even if you did for yourself, there's a reward.
Yeah, subhanAllah. Excellent points. Brother Mukhtar.
As Abdullah was going to say, تبسمك في وجه أخيك صدقة. Even if you smile in the face of your friend, of your brother, if your brother not only in religion but brother of humanity, it is considered sadaqah. It's considered something that you will get reward for.
Yeah, subhanAllah.
And there is another soul I want to share with you guys. We think to every day of thousands of ideas and thoughts that come up to our brain, but we choose what to get out. What is the one that will gonna affect the day?
Yes.
So they say one small positive thought in the morning could change the whole day.
True.
Yeah, and we are governed by emotions. If you have a positive emotion, a positive attitude, you will act toward it. Your mind and your body is actually working toward fulfilling joy. We are an organism that seeks joy. And the way we do it, that we ignore negative attitudes and we ignore negative things toward positive things. But the problem comes when someone from outside install a virus in your software, in your brain, and it destroys the whole day for you. Emotions governs how we think, and whether your heart or your brain is the source of emotion, he is the source of everything you do in your life. Think if we are sitting here and the room suddenly became dark, and there is a strange voice, a scary voice, your heart's starting to beat more, and you feel stressed.
Someone's going to die.
Yeah, you feel fear, and this will push you toward doing something.
Right, of course.
I'll tell you a story about me, like seriously, like this is a personal thing for me.
Brother Abdullah, I'm going to interrupt you. I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah.
We're going to get right back to you after the break, inshallah.
Sure.
You guys stay tuned.
All
We'll be
right,
right back from our list.
Perfect, my alliance and I praise. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. Subhanallahi al-azim. How perfect you are, Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Al-Asbat Gate. It is located in the northeastern section of Al-Aqsa Masjid. It was rebuilt by King Isa al-Ayyubi in the year 610 after Hijrah, 1213 AD. It was then renovated by the Ottoman Sultan Sulayman al-Qanuni. One of its other names is the Maryam Gate, since it is near St. Hannah Church. Al-Asbat Gate is the only entrance for ambulances and other emergency vehicles when Al-Aqsa is attacked.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, I'm calling.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. Before the break, brother, I interrupted you. I apologize. Some topic that you want to share with us. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. Like, I lived in America for 1 year, and they described me as the most kind of smiling creature on the campus. Once they invited me come and they order something from the restaurant, what do you want? Beer. For me, for sure I can drink beer. So I don't Sprite, the wait, what? Sprite? I don't Sprite, please. Thank you. And then during the night, and I was the most smiling and the most I was the happiest person there on the table there. And they asked me always, Abdullah, what did you drink? Why are you happy? Why are you always happy? We're always doing this. Did you drink? Did you do this and this and this and this? So I'm Like, that's me, that's my personality, that's my satisfactions. And like behind all of this, for sure, Islam. Wallahi, it's like kind of a great joy if you find yourself and you found a great joy behind Islam. Seriously, for sure, like there is a difference between, like, you know, being a Muslim, being a believer. You understand me? When you find the joy of the beliefs itself.
Subhanallah, yeah.
If you are satisfied with yourself or with God, for sure, that's a great belief.
Yeah, well, thank you for your time. Certainly appreciate those thoughts. Brother Mukhtar, I had some interesting points here, unless you had something you wanted to mention.
I want to say something very important since we brought this point up. Positivity and the way Islam creates a positive Muslim. They say that the good Muslim is a positive and strong Muslim who tend to everything, every aspect of his life. If you think of it, how many times do you pray each day? 5 times.
5 times.
And how many times do we pray Friday? 1 time. And in Friday, you listen to a public speech from a teacher, from the sheikh. He's telling you, he's putting positive messages into you each week, putting you into the spiritual, the meaningful, the purposeful, the positive attitude of Islam. It's like our mind is like a battery. By time this battery goes down and you're feeling depressed, then we all feel that. Who is so fortunate not to feel and experience this feeling? So when this battery goes down, you have to recharge it. And the way we recharge in Islam is through prayer, through reading Quran, and the more positive we recharge it is through Friday prayer. Because not only I recharge from one person, but from all these persons that pray with me. So Islam has made it clear, has made it a system that you are always recharging your mind with positive Islamic thoughts each week. And this will bring your battery, your mind, into another way of seeing life. They say your mind is like a garden. If you don't deliberately plant flowers, tend carefully, weeds will grow. Without any encouragement at all.
Right. Great point. Yeah, excellent. But yeah, without any encouragement at all. But here's an interesting question. Somebody might ask, okay, if I take one person who always sees everything positive, and I take one person who sees things negative, what's the reality? Who is seeing reality? What is reality then?
Reality is what you perceive is reality. People's perception of reality is people's reality. So whether it's reality or not, we are sure that what you see is totally different from reality. The way you will act, the way you will behave is the way you feel about this stuff. If you feel it positive, you will act positive and you will work positive. If you feel it bad, you will act bad toward it.
You guys, we're going to take a quick look at a report and we'll get back to our interesting topics. Feeling good, inshallah. You guys stay tuned to Let's Talk.
Allah, I'm calling your name.
They call that young boy Ibn Abbas. So the young boy Ibn Abbas would sit down. So obviously people had reservation. So somebody even made the remark and said that وَقَدْ عُوتِبَ مَرَّةً فِي تَقْدِيمِهِ لَهُ. People said, this is not on, man. He is the age of our son. Why do you have him here? Umar radiallahu anhu silenced everyone by saying, إِنَّهُ فَتَى الْكُهُولِ لَهُ لِسَانٌ سَؤُولٌ وَقَلْبٌ عَقُولٌ. Listen, the reality is the youth need the seniors. The juniors need the seniors. But Ibn Abbas is such a junior that the seniors need the just junior. إِنَّهُ فَتَى الْكُهُولِ. We need him more than he needs us. We call upon the youth to stand up. Stand up in every sphere. Politically, in your schools, in your universities, in your campus. Take the active role. Display the beauty of Islam. Stand up as role models and show the beauty that Ibn Abbas displayed. عُمِّرَ 71 سَنَةً. Allah gave him a lifespan of 71. One day he went for Hajj. With him was a presence of his students. وَكَانَ لِمُعَاوِيَ مَوْكِبٌ مِّن رِجَالِ دَوْلَتِهِ. And Muawiyah radiallahu anhu had a presence from the Khilafah. The presence that tagged along behind Ibn Abbas was more than the men that were around the Khalifa of that time. فَلَمَّا أَتَاهُ الْيَقِينَ. When he passed away, صَلَّى عَلَيْهِ مُحَمَّدُ بْنُ الْحَنَفِيَّةِ. Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, the son of Ali radiallahu anhu, led the janazah of this man. And he said, مَاتَ وَاللَّهِ حَبْرُ هَذِهِ الْأُمَّةِ. Today the entire ummah mourns the death of a man whose entire life mala ad-dunya ilman wa hikmah. He brought peace, he brought respect, he brought dignity. He elevated the stage of this entire ummah. جاء طائر أبيض, read the riwayat of Isaba, I read it myself. A bird came, a bird. دخل في نعشه, entered into his grave, entered into his coffin, and nobody seen it. And they say, لما واروه, when they lowered him into the grave, سمعوا قارئا يقرأ أو تاليا يتلو. They heard an unseen voice recite, يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة, يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة, ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية. Oh blessed soul, return to your Lord anticipates your coming. We hope and pray to the Almighty that He creates from these youth that have gathered here in this place also, those that will emulate the young life of Abdullah ibn Abbas, that left behind such a rich legacy that till today we are the proud people that say that in our ancestry they are the likes of Abdullah ibn Abbas. May Allah Ta'ala instill, infuse and imbibe within us the great qualities of Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma. In conclusion, let me also wrap up by expressing my hearty gratitude to the organizers and all the other brothers that have made my stay here pleasant and have made it wonderful. May Allah reward one and all. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. If I can go directly to you, Brother Muhammad Garba, I think one important lesson was from that video of the Sheikh there, being positive makes you loved by many people.
Yes.
So how important is it for the Muslim to be positive, simply because it spreads positivity amongst the Muslims? Do you agree?
Yes, yes, it is true. Because we Muslims, it is good for us to be always to be optimism, to be thinking that this thing is going to be done. I can do it, and I will. That is what the Prophet taught us in one of his hadiths. He said, the hadith is hadith al-Qudsi, I think. He said, Almighty Allah says, "Ana inda dhanni abdi bi." So I am in the perception of my slave.
Right.
So what he thinks about your Lord, it is what you see.
Yeah.
So the Muslims have to be always thinking good. That maybe I wish if my God can bless me such and such thing. If I can do this, if I can do that. So don't be negative. If you think negatively, you're going to see negative things.
Yeah,
so that is why Almighty Allah also teaches us in the Quran that He knows that Shaitan always whispers in the mind of the Muslims. So, but whenever these things happens to you, try to read Surah An-Nas. Amin sharri nafathati fil uqad. Amin sharri Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas, min sharri al-waswasil khannas. So all these things, they are the fortification for the Muslims, that whenever you feel such a thing in your mind, you read them so that you get rid of the shaitan.
Yeah.
So,
MashaAllah, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
And Brother Abdullah, also you said back in the States, your peers and classmates would drink alcohol, but you would drink Sprite, and they were wondering why you're happy. So this is great. So you had a positive effect on the people around you. Or I should say, your positivity was reflected. The people benefited from that around you.
Yeah, for sure. Like I just said, like Brother Mukhtar says, seriously, like I see some people like really like Muslims, like brother, like hey, like why do you feel sad or feel down? Like,
Always frowning.
I don't like, yeah, like why? Like I don't know, like I feel like I'm not so much. I'll tell you something, like we always like, remember like feeding ourselves, our bodies, but we forget always like to feed our souls, which is prayer. If you pray, like ask Him, like why you frown? Why you like, okay, I'll do something. You pray? Really? And you kind of feel down and you don't know why? Like praying and like khutbah and like Jum'ah, Friday prayer and all these things like charge you.
Yeah.
And like charge you like your beliefs, charge you like, always, we pray like 5 times a day. We read like Surah Fatiha 17 times a day. It always like reminds you, right? To be like, positive, as you said.
Yeah.
Being positive, like they always say like smile at life and life will smile at you back.
Right.
Like law of attraction, all these things, the secret thing. But I'll do something once I watched the secret like movie thing. They're describing Islam from their perspective. They just like need something like to say there's no God but like Allah, like Muhammad is messenger.
Yeah.
Like for sure there's like a Muslim تفاءلوا بالخير تجدوه. Like أنا عندي ظن عبدي بي. All these things. Being positive is being Muslim. Like simple.
Yes, subhanAllah. Thank you,
Subhanallah.
Brother Mukhtar, go ahead.
So we were speaking about attitude.
Yes.
And like we say that a bad attitude is like a flat tire. You can't go anywhere until you change
Right.
it.
Yeah.
So you have to think before you act, and ask yourself, is this the right attitude to this situation, and how can I change my attitude? Do you think you can change the way you believe and the way you think and the way you feel about something all of a second, or it takes time? What do you think? Can you change your mental attitude like this?
What do you think, young man? What do you think, young Will?
It takes time. I think it takes time.
How long will it take for you to change your brain?
It depends on how long do I intend to change it.
Okay, so you are in control of your attitude.
Exactly. Well, for me, I don't think so. It's like if I'm a bad, let's say I'm the one who's grumpy every time. It's you could say it's something I'm already used to. But if I want to really intend to change myself to some guy positive instead of negative, it depends on my will. For me, it depends on my will, the strength of my will. If I really want to change myself, I'll change, inshallah. But if you get lazy and said I'll change, I'll change, but I could change automatically like that. That's not something you could change like that.
Especially we've been programmed by the media to have certain attitude.
Yeah.
It would take long to reprogram yourself, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it takes time to reprogram itself. But you know, there is an interesting fact here. You know, three things that are contagious, and they are not physically contagious. It's happiness, sadness and crying, and yawning.
And yawning also, right. Yes, yeah. It has a physiological
you
effect.
feel it when you are praying and someone
boring or something like that.
Yeah, or someone is yawning, and all of the
everyone
people,
is affected.
Yeah, happiness.
Yeah.
So choose your companions well, because if
Subhanallah.
they are happy, they'll bring happiness into
wallahi.
you. And you could enter a room where, or a stadium or something, where people are feeling positive, and you are charging with them.
Wallahi.
You come out laughing and feeling good.
Yes.
And you could enter a room where some girls are watching a movie, and one of them starts crying. What happens to the other girls?
You start crying.
It's contagious. It catches it. So you have to keep your companions positive, and if they feel bad, you could change it. It's contagious, and it's controllable. You have the weapon to choose whether you feel good or bad, and you could change it like this. As you said, if you smile, your mind and your body starts to think and act in that way.
It has
So
a
you can
physiological.
control it.
SubhanAllah, it does have a physiological effect, I believe. That
Yeah.
if you had a doctor, that'd be nice to ask him this question.
I am a doctor, I'm telling you.
I'm sorry.
When you smile, I know. When you smile, it starts to send the signals to your brain that you are seeing something positive, and these chemicals tend to change your mood, because in the end, it's all about chemicals.
Yeah, of course.
I'll tell you something, like it starts to be automatically, you understand me? It's just like in the beginning. Like you just like, be positive, like, it will take time in the beginning, but after that, when you have like trouble or hardship, you find yourself like smiling and acting positively. Like how? Your system and your body, like, like just like your new emotions, everything's like kind of like was programmed to be positive, and everything. It like kind of like I changed my, by the way, like, my mental, like, my emotions, like, so fast. Be positive all the time. Being positive all the time makes me like positive in like really hardship. When I need myself, I found myself.
Yeah, subhanAllah. That's great. Because you have to be prepared for hardship. If you're not prepared and the hardship comes, you're not gonna get through it. Brother Sheikh Muhammad, I want to ask you a question, brother. Wallahi, I'm so happy that you're on the program with me.
Yeah, welcome.
What about the hadith and the statement that the person follows the religion of his friend? What is the wisdom behind this? Can you share this with us?
Yes, I think this hadith is very relates to what our brother has just said now. I think the Arabic version of hadith is al-mar'u ala dini khalilihi. That is, someone is in religion of his friends. And also in another sense, I think the Prophet said, as-sahib sahib. So a company and accompany your friend, so they take you away, they attract you from one place or one thing to another. So that is why it is very important for someone to be in a good company. If you are in a good company, you find even if you are bad, you turn automatically you turn good. But if you are good and you are in bad company, automatically you are going to change. So you are going to change. So that is why, whatever the case may be, if someone is good, so let us try to move closer to them. That is why they say there is something called Majalis Salihin. So to
Yes.
be to sit with the pious ones,
Yeah.
because if you sit with them, you are going to learn from them.
Yes.
You are going to study from them. Some of their acts is going to be transferred into you
Yes.
also.
I mean, look at the great wisdom of the,
الحقني بالصالحين.
yeah. Look at the great wisdom of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And the people, and nowadays we have all this pharmaceutical industry that's making billions of dollars by selling pills to people to cure their sadness. You know, subhanallah. Interesting points to say the least. We're going to take a short break, you guys, and we're going to get back to this issue about feeling good. We hope you guys are feeling good at home. Stay tuned to Let's Talk.
Perfect my Allah is, and I praise you. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. Subhanallahi al-azim. How perfect you are, Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Lord, to you I pray, bow down, prostrate.
Life is a journey,
The only one worthy of praise.
beginning with a single step.
You with an attentive heart.
The direction is clear.
From the present and past, to you I pray, bow down, prostrate.
But it still needs guidance.
One worthy of praise. I stand before you with an attentive heart. Erase my sins from the present and past.
Huda GPS.
Oh Lord, to you I pray, bow down, prostrate. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Let's Talk. I'd like to thank everybody. I forgot to mention at the beginning of the program, Huda TV for making this episode possible. Brother Mu'taz Nabil, Brother Hussein Adib, Muhammad Shawi, and all the brothers, Akbar Ismail, all you guys know I'm talking about, Rabi Ali, Ihab, Abu Yazid, everyone, Brother Wa'il, the list goes on and on. You guys, thank you. And you guys, thanks for watching. We're back. We're feeling good here on Let's Talk. Brother Mukhtar, let's get this discussion going in this segment about this, perhaps a circle or wheel of emotions that we are controlled by. And you mentioned to me, we have anger, sadness, stress, joy, and happiness.
Yeah.
Well, let's speak about that. And let's also speak about drug addiction and how this relates.
So there is a psychologist that tried to picture everything the man do back to his emotion,
Okay.
and he actually tried to sum all the emotions in a circle, and this circle gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But if you have the small circle, it means happiness, sadness, and anger, and feeling
Joy
good or bad,
And stress.
and stress, and all these feelings, it protrudes out from you into your life. So whether you are actually governed by your thoughts or by your feeling, which is more powerful? Feelings, emotions, or thoughts? Which one is more effective, do you think?
I think,
Go ahead.
yeah, I think like, like feelings for sure. Like people will forget like what you say and what you do for them, but will never forget like, what you
Your
like
feeling.
make them feel.
Yeah,
I agree.
feeling.
What do you think,
I
brother?
think
brother.
thought is more powerful than the emotion.
Thought more powerful
think so?
than emotions.
What about you, brother?
No, for me, it's about feelings. Every action you do is about how you feel about it. What do you feel about it? Every action is like that.
Wallahi, I
The
think
results.
men are more inclined towards thoughts, but at the end of the day, every human being, I think, is more affected by emotions.
Exactly. We are all governed first by our emotions. When we under stress or under any situations, the first thing we think of is emotions, and then our brain starts to work,
Right.
and then we think. Some people don't go through this process and make this mental process and to come up with thinking of the situations. They just feel something and they do it, and most of the time it's more effective. And if I want to affect you and enter your soul, enter your head, I'm not gonna use thoughts. I'm gonna
Emotions.
use feelings.
Right.
I'm gonna use emotions. I'm gonna make you feel happy. If I want you to remember me for the rest of your life, I will give you a memorable moment of happiness and joy.
Mashallah.
Right. Yeah. Great
Yeah,
point.
not
Also,
thought.
even that term "play on your emotions," like in America on Memorial Day, the 4th of July, they bring the flags and they play to your
Fireworks.
nationalism. Here, also these days, unfortunately, here in Egypt as well, they bring out the flags and they play towards your nationalism in order to manipulate you. And this is not, they're not appealing to your thoughts, they're appealing to your emotions. So I couldn't agree with you more on that part. Let's talk about drug addiction and how does this relate? What is the reason perhaps many people use drugs in the first place?
Yeah. There are many theories why people use drugs. Some of it are bad companies and
Right,
bad
there's many
companions,
factors.
give it a try or something like
Yeah,
this.
peer pressure.
And feeling of pressure and life is stressful and you want something to take your mind out of it. Sometimes it's medicinal and you get addictive to it. They say heroin is like love.
Right.
It has the same effect as you have with love.
Right.
So people, if you experience something like this, you want to stay in that
Right.
forever.
People are trying to chase a feeling, a good feeling. Would you agree, brother?
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Well, chase feelings.
People, a lot of times, the youth and the adults, they go to drugs and alcohol because they're chasing this kind of feel good. They want to feel good.
Well, there's just like brother. It depends on what bad company, or let's say someone persuade you to do it, or even maybe you were under a tremendous kind of pressure, and suddenly you heard someone saying like marijuana is going to make you feel better. Your imagination. Let's say you're an artist. You have a bad artwork like that, and people are complaining. There's right now CNN. Last time I saw a program talk about what's good about marijuana. That was what they talk about the show. So they were let's say there was an artist. He said he daily he smokes marijuana, weed. He smokes the pot daily. Right. And in the same time he brings his imagination becomes bigger, wilder, and more better.
Right.
So that's kind of addicting, or you could say it seduces you to do things.
Right. And I also saw, before we go to the report, a nice program at advertising for it. It's and the person advertising is about marijuana. He said, we want to talk about the myth that people think marijuana is not addictive, because it is. And we're going to talk about that before we go to the break also about...
One thought before we go to the
report. I'm sorry,
don't mess with your brain chemistry. For whatever reason you do, don't mess with your brain chemistry.
Right, thank you, brothers. And I want to mention briefly before we go to the report and take your guys' thoughts. Wallahi, I drink non-alcoholic sha'ir, barley. Wallahi, I told the Sheikh Muhammad, asked Koda, I said, I've been drinking the basically non-alcoholic beer. Yeah. He said, brother, young man, Malik, I told you many times, Allah has made almost everything permissible. Only a few things are impermissible. It's beautiful. You can drink it. It's 100% halal. And you still keep your what's about you. So Allah has given you guys a way out. If you guys are tempted to drink beer, drink non-alcoholic beer. Don't mess with your brain chemistry. You guys stay tuned. So let's talk and check out this report.
Allah, I'm calling your name.
My darling sister, you think you've gotten a raw deal because culturally your husband oppresses you. Culturally he abuses you. Culturally you got cultural baggages. So you think the Muslims are doing you a wrong deal. But I have news for you. My darling sister, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed you to keep your own name. You get married here in this country and you're Mrs. So-and-so. But in Allah's book, you are the daughter of so-and-so. You've got your own name. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through His Sharia, has seen to it that you have your own wealth. You have your own wealth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has seen to it that you get your own portion of inheritance and you keep it too. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees to it that no matter what you earn, your husband has to provide for you. This is Allah's Sharia. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made you not an object of desire or objectification as they have done in the West, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made you a pillar and a builder of the society that you are a part of. And what did you do? What are you doing? Let's look at some of these pillars in the society. I ask you, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. Musa alayhi salam, the Prophet Musa. His life was a success built by women. His mother was inspired by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His sister ran after him and saw that he was returned to the household. The wife of Fir'aun pleaded on his behalf for Fir'aun to what? To take him into her home. Surrounded by women. The life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a success by women. Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha gave herself and her wealth and all that she had for this deen. The wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Salama. Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. Brothers Muhammad, Brother, I like that report. The Sheikh there is speaking to women and sisters who have been oppressed into these culturally marriages, have been forced to marry against their will, and they're unhappy. And he brings many beautiful things to feel good about, and give us the correct Islamic understanding of marriage. Go ahead, give me your thoughts, brother.
Yeah, I think I'm going to exploit two important things from the video that the Sheikh mentioned. The first is the important roles of the women in society. That is the roles that they perform in formation of the society.
Right.
So our women, they did so many things. Number one, they raise up our children at home. So, and also the women have done so many things throughout the history.
Yes.
So let's look at Sayyidah Khadija, who has helped the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and also so many other scholars like Imam Malik.
Yes.
It is recorded that it was his mother who brought him to the halqa of Rabi'. So from there, he became one important sheikh.
Yeah.
So from there, we have to know that our women still have so many things to do to help this society and the Muslim generation. And also the other thing is that there's common mistake that people made nowadays when they want to address a woman. For example, now if Brother Malik has a daughter called Fatima, so then I married her. So later they call her Mrs. Fatima Muhammad. No, in Islam this is wrong. So adoption. So the only Quran says, "Ud'uhum li'aba'ihim, fa in lam ta'lamu aba'ahum, fa ikhwanukum fid din wa mawalikum." So I think the Sheikh also mentions this. So we have to. We have to address them according with the name of their father, not with the name of their husband.
Yes, which happens in the West. Yeah, thank you, brother. Brother Abdullah, you want to mention the drug addiction thing as it relates to movement.
Like you find like people before, for the people who embrace Islam, before Islam, they were searching for happiness, they were taking drugs, they were searching for happiness, like the same mental effects or anything. And after Islam, they're finding the real happiness without drugs. Do you feel like, have you ever found anyone who embraced Islam taking drugs or doing drugs? Why? Because he's having the real Islam, the real happiness now. But before this, was searching for happiness. That's why he's trying to hypnotize himself, with this, I'm smoking weed, I'm doing this, I'm feeling good.
Trying to erase himself, right? He's trying to cope with the situation. He's unhappy.
Mashallah, most of the converters are women, they're searching for happiness, emotional thing. So Islam gives you for feelings first. For sure, it's Islamic way of living, and all the Islamic system, perfect system for sure, for this life. And gives you before all of this a good feeling, you find all
it gives you a goal, will give you a life purpose, it give you everything you need to live your life in peace.
You have a purpose now in your life.
Thank you, brother. Go ahead, brother Mukhtar.
I want to end this episode with saying some words from Ibn al-Qayyim al-Juz'i. He say, rebuild the thought, for if you don't, it become an idea. So rebuild the idea, for if you don't, it will become a desire. So fight against that desire, for if you don't, it will become a determination and a passion. And if you don't rebuild that, it will become an action. And if you don't replace it with its opposite, it will become a constant habit. So at this point, it will be difficult for you to change it. So start this thought and smile while you have teeth.
Thank you guys for your time. I certainly appreciate you guys. I look forward to have you on future episodes, inshallah ta'ala. And you guys at home, please continue to support us on social media, facebook.com/huda.tv, facebook.com/huda.tv. You guys, YouTube as well. Email us, talk@huda.tv, to give us your thoughts, feedback and suggestions, as well as to what programs and topics and guests you'd like to see on future episodes, inshallah. I'd like to thank everybody here for making this possible. We want to thank Allah for giving us the strength to make another episode of Let's Talk. So until next time, we leave you in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How perfect my Allah is, and I praise Him. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, Subhanallah alladhi. How perfect you are, Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, Allah. I'm calling your name, Allah. I call you, I need you, Allahu Akbar, Allah. Your mercy is great.